All right. Here we are, finally. We're finally here, people. We're 15 minutes late. That's
right.
okay.
Okay.
I mean, we're not like working for like Fox fucking Studios. All right, everybody's happy to be here today. How you guys doing? The Zenobis are here today. Let's hear for them.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Oh, man.
They love you. That's all of Venice, Nokomis, Osprey. They fucking love you. Holy shit. I mean, it's just crazy. All right.
Nice. Thank you.
That was everybody in Sarasota County because they heard about it. They heard about the show. Welcome to the show, How Not to Bomb. Everybody's got a story, people. My name is Michael Wheels Parisi, your host. I got Alan and Cheryl Zenobi, wonderful couple. Welcome to the show. How you guys doing today? How's everything?
Thank you. Good.
Doing
Everything's
well.
great.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
You know, we met at my food truck, my little coffee truck in Venice, and we just became friends after that. You guys would always come. I know Cheryl was big into the what do you call the Napoleons.
They were my favorite.
And Alan loved the pep. I think you were really into the peppers and the sandwiches. You were more into the sandwiches.
Yeah, all those sandwiches were killer, so it was awesome. It's a great variety. It was good.
And the pizza game at Easter was
and the pizza game.
Yeah.
Yep. So you know, I still go back and forth to Venice. I don't live in Venice anymore. I live out in Wesley Chapel now.
Okay.
right.
I don't know if you know where that is. Out by Tampa. It's a little north. It's not that far. It's like in the Tampa area.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm in Venice all the time. Wesley Chapel is right by Land O'Lakes. You know that area.
Okay.
Okay.
And my family and I moved here. And we love it, and we have it's enjoyable. I'm not stressing over every hurricane now. I was living so close to that water. You know, we were living close to the water, and we were nervous, and that's one of the reasons why I just got I was just done. You know, but
it's tiring.
Yeah.
It wears you out.
Yeah, it does.
yeah, it does worry. But now I'm back into the game, back in the show business with my true love, and doing this podcast, How Not to Bomb. And I thought of you guys. I made friends with people out there, but you can't have every person you meet, who want to want to have on the show. You have to have special people. And I always thought you guys were fantastic, and we became friends.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
and then as we got to know each other, thank you. And as we got to know each other, so you guys have been married. You're like childhood, almost like. So how did it work out? You're like childhood sweethearts, but not really because you met
Not
later.
really.
No. So,
It's crazy. We have a crazy story.
but you met you were in elementary school when you guys met.
Kindergarten. Yeah. Yep.
Did you like each other? Was Alan a bully? Did you ignore him? Were you friends? I mean, what was it?
I want to say we were classmates. I remember, of course, we remember each other in school. And
So you do remember each other?
Oh yeah, because
Okay.
there were things. I almost killed this hermit crab in 6th grade,
Okay.
and so we have little stories here and there, but we weren't.
Yeah, we were on two different ends of town, so it wasn't like we hung out after school or like on the weekend. She was on one side.
Maybe in recess or something, you guys hang
Yeah,
out because the class was together. So now, after school was done, when did you stop seeing? When did you stop seeing each other? Like when was it like you didn't see each other anymore, like in school?
So what happened was, from kindergarten to 7th grade, we were in school together, and then his family moved out of town. So we grew up in Belleville, New Jersey.
Belleville, New Jersey.
Shout out to Belleville.
Something just happened in Belleville. Didn't something just big happen in Belleville?
Yeah,
recently?
that big fire they had over there.
That's right. Yeah.
They had
I
big
saw that.
fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the middle of 7th grade, Alan's family moved out of Belleville and moved towards the shore area, down the shore.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we were 12, and that was the last time I saw him.
That was the last time you saw him. You went on with your life. He went on with his life.
Yeah.
And life kind of just took over. And then what happened?
30 years. Well,
Yeah, like, it was like 30 some years later. I was going through a divorce, and my cousin had called me up and see how things were going, that kind of stuff. And I said to him, just plugging along. And he says, "Oh, you need to come up here." And I'm like, "Yeah." My sister still lives in Union Beach.
Okay.
So he's like, "Come up and hang out." He goes, "Plus, we're having a reunion, a high school reunion." Now I didn't graduate with them. I left in 7th grade, but I still knew everybody. And I said, "Nobody's gonna remember me." He's like, "Of course, everybody remembers
Right.
you. You gotta come out. You gotta come out." So long story short, we ended up down at the
the tiki bar.
Tiki Bar at Point Pleasant.
Mhm.
Okay.
And hanging out with my cousin, and Cheryl walked in. I would have never known who she
We wouldn't have
was.
known each other.
As far as
Wow.
the people changed, and got introduced. You remember this? I mean, I met like so many people that night from that I haven't seen in 30 something years. We just started talking. We kind of hit it off, and one thing led to another, and we became friends and phone calls. And then I was living in Florida at the time. I was going through a divorce.
Where in Florida were you living then, Alan?
I was living in Claremont, Florida.
Oh, okay. Oh, Claremont. Okay.
Yeah, so I was going through stuff. My parents were living with me. My dad was real sick, so I was kind of taking care of him as well. And then we started talking over the phone. She was a teacher, so she come down to visit myself and the family stay at the house. Yeah,
Christmas
Christmas
time,
breaks and summer
break.
summer break. So it went on for like 2.5 years or
2
so.
years. We were long distance for 2
Oh,
years.
Like 2 years. Yeah.
So Cheryl, you were a teacher in the Jersey school system.
I was
That's a
a
heavy
teacher
duty thing.
in Belleville High School where I graduated.
You actually graduated from the same school you taught in, and
Yeah.
you did that. That was now I was not aware of that when we would see each other all the time in Venice. I didn't know you were a teacher. I really never knew what you. I knew Alan did something in cars because I think the first time we talked, Alan came over to me and said, "Hey, do you know who's got that garage down the block? I might want to rent it." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I said, I have no idea. I don't know anybody in the neighborhood. I said, I just fill cannolis like a friggin'
Yeah,
choo-choo all day.
the wheels were spinning back then, trying to find something new.
Yeah, so that's interesting. But I want to know something. So you met. So you went to kindergarten together. You didn't see each other in 30 years. Then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah.
Where in the conversation at one point did one of you say to the other, we were in kindergarten class together? Like when you saw each other, you probably didn't click right away that you were in class together. I'm assuming.
Oh no,
Didn't-
we did.
It was
We were totally. It was like, oh my
You
God,
were aware.
Alan.
You were aware of that.
at
Wow.
the pizza bar, yeah.
Yeah, no, we totally remembered each other. It was
Okay.
just that we changed so much
Yeah.
from when we were 12.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have recognized each other.
Right.
But as soon as each, our name,
the name and the faces started clicking in, then it started.
I was like, oh my
I
God.
get, yeah, because if I think of kindergarten, like now for me, I don't. In my kindergarten class, I could say maybe 4th grade, 5th grade for sure. But in kindergarten, I would not know anybody in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But, we were in class throughout. Like that picture that I sent you, that was our 5th grade class picture.
Oh, okay. So you weren't just in
No.
kindergarten; you were
Yeah,
throughout.
no, we
Oh,
were
I got you.
throughout.
Throughout
Yeah.
grammar school.
Yeah.
Okay,
we
so
were
you-
in each
so-
other's class.
Okay, so it wasn't just wow. How do you remember each other just from kindergarten?
No.
No,
That would be
we knew
crazy.
Each other through junior high, because Bella had a junior high at the time. Then I left in the middle of 7th grade, and that's when I went down to Hazlitt.
Yeah,
Right.
and that was the last time we saw each other's face. We were 12.
You were 12 years old was the last time. Alan, you played football.
Yeah, I played football in high school, and I really enjoyed it. And it just didn't work out. I was undersized, and the coaching, the team wasn't really that well. We didn't do well at all. But I always had that fire. And then I ran into somebody who was playing at a team in Plainfield, New Jersey. And I said, without college, I say, no, Al, you got to come out. He goes, we take anybody that can try out. So
Right.
long story short, I went to try out there. I dug up my old high school equipment, and it was all, it was like Rudy.
Wow.
I went out and I strapped on this equipment, and it was all beat up and everything was tore up. And the coach says, yeah, because we could definitely use you. And from then on, I ended up playing probably about 12 years. Made some great friends, great memories. My friend, very good friend of mine, Jerry Romano. We still keep in touch. We met at the first day there, first practice. We hit it off in the parking lot, started talking, and we've been friends ever since. And it's awesome. It's awesome. We wrapped it up. I played a couple teams in New Jersey, a couple in Pennsylvania where I won a national championship.
Wow.
And then I played a couple years up in Newburgh, New York. A couple teams in East Orange, New Jersey. We were using the field there. We played at Montclair State. I won a national championship, like I said before, and also was inducted into the Minor League Football Hall of Fame in 2021, which is a great honor.
So that's a great honor. You were truly a football player then. You didn't just dabble in it. You were 12 years strong. You were what position were you at that point?
Offensive line.
Offensive line.
I always loved it.
Now, from the minor league, did you have dreams of going to the major, going into the pro, or did you think that maybe?
Of course, you have your dreams when you start playing, and you didn't go to school, so you always had that little background where you had your little doubt. But then as I started playing, and compliments from other players that were very, very good, and coaches and things of that nature, Yeah, you had a dream. Back in the day, it was called the World League.
Okay.
Before the USFL, I'm not sorry, it was after the USFL, but it was before the European League started going. And there was a weekend tryout, and 6 of us got invited down to Tampa, University of Tampa, and we tried out. And when I saw the competition, I saw these guys, and I was working full time at the time, and just doing football on the side. I would practice. I would work till 4 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, I would work through my lunch, leave at 3, drive 2 hours to Pennsylvania, practice from 7 to 9, and then drive 2 hours back, and then go to work the next day. So it wasn't like
Wow.
so I had to kind of pay my dues, and then that's everybody in the minor league system is like that. We don't get paid; we just play for the love of the game.
Oh, trust me, I know how that works. Same thing in
So,
show business. Many
yeah.
many people out there right now not making any money that you're going to know in a couple of years. You know.
Yeah.
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 That's
And
how
you
it
do,
works.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was able to connect with other teams, and one team led to another because financial situations, everybody's different. The owner, it's just one team led to another, and then you have contacts, guys who played. Hey, listen, we need you up here. We need you up here. And that's how we ended up in Tampa for the trial. But when I saw these guys playing, and I said, I knew my level. I said, I knew this is as far as I'm going to go because they're just too big, too strong, undersized. I mean, if you have short arms, little T-Rex arms, you're not going to be able to block anybody.
And you're not going to do anything that's going to make you different body wise. You're going to be you're natural. You want to go
exactly.
natural.
So I went as far as I could with God, but with what God gave me, and I was able to have bunch of great years, met some great guys, great memories.
Oh, you did some. That's an amazing accomplishment. And you were also into the sports, weren't you, Sharon? You're also into. You were in school. You also were a coach at one point.
Yeah, I coached basketball and softball at Belleville High School, and then 2 or 3 years I coached at Rutgers University softball.
That's crazy. So it's sports inclined family. Did your kids turn out that way?
No, my son actually. I tried to get him involved in some things when he was younger. I gave him a little chance to try a little everything because I started out as a cyclist at the age of 4.
Okay.
And I rode not professionally, but I rode in the categories as I got older, up to the age of 13. And then when my body started going through changes, extra meatballs, that kind of stuff, I started putting on weight, and the bike kind of went off to the side. And I just enjoyed the contact in the game itself, and I just kind of moved on to football full time. But I tried to introduce him to everything because I played a little bit of everything growing up, and it just wasn't for him. It's just
hey, same thing with my daughter. She wanted to go in the health field. What entertainment? Thank God, entertainment wasn't for her. Trust me.
But that's the big joke with Nick, because Nick is a big kid. He's 27 now, but he's 6'4". He's like 250, and he lived with the 2 biggest jocks, and he hates sport.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting. It's interesting because I played football in high school. I was on varsity in football, and I was more of a wrestler in high school. But after high school, and I got done, and I went to college for a few years, and then I ended up just doing my own thing. I don't care about sports anymore. Like I don't follow it. I don't follow wrestling. I don't follow football. I just don't. I don't know why. I just kind of lost interest. I was every day. I showed up every day for practice, dressed out, ready to go.
Yeah.
And then when I was done, I was just done. I don't know why. Do you still follow? You guys still follow all the stuff that you're involved in?
Yeah.
Mostly, I had my favorite teams growing up through professional stuff. But a couple of years ago, when some of the things started changing, the game started changing a little bit more political stuff, and just I kind of turned it off. So I went back. It was big turn off. So I went back to the roots of the game, where everything, and it's the fanfare is college.
I love college, actually. Yeah,
I enjoy college football game, college game day. I don't do anything on Saturday. We catch the show in the morning, and we watch probably 2 or 3 games on that Saturday. And I don't really care for the NFL. I don't watch.
I'm not a big fan of the NFL either. I enjoy college. I enjoy college because I know that they're fighting for it. They're wanting to. They're really going out there with passion to do it. And I enjoy it. I went to Florida State, so whenever Florida State is playing, I'm watching Florida State.
Yeah. All right.
So I do follow them. But I just don't follow the NFL. And I do, and I know you guys follow the World Cup because you're attached to that because you're in good shape right now. Actually, I think, right? I mean,
we have on your end. My family's from Argentina, so we happen to have a big a nice run going on now. Now we play for the finals on Sunday in the World Cup, and it's exciting. The last games have been unbelievable.
It's been great.
And it's just, you know, it happens every 4 years, you know, besides the games that are played in between, but this is something special.
Yeah.
And if they can pull it off, it would be fantastic.
Why do you think the World Cup is, and I know it's popular in America, but it's not as popular as NFL or Major League Baseball, or even now like hockey again is becoming popular here. Why do you think that's one sport that it's popular worldwide, but not as popular here in this country? Why is that?
I think part of the game, because comparison to, you know, baseball and football, things of that nature, there's part of the game that people hate as far as soccer is concerned, with the guys falling down and making it seem like their legs are snapped off and
they're rolling around.
And sometimes it's a turnoff to me too, and I think it's a turnoff to a lot of other people. But unfortunately, it's part of the game to draw the fact, to try to put yourself in a position, and everything's dramatic. And all of a sudden, the guy gets up. You know, I think his legs snapped off, and all of a sudden, he's
running down the field.
3 seconds later, he's running a full sprint to score a goal. And it's unfortunately it's part of the game. And I think it's, but you know, games are like this, like the World Cup. It has to be anybody who doesn't.
Well, yeah, now it is. Yeah,
people find it exciting. I think there's something wrong.
Yeah, definitely something wrong. I know when Italy is ever in, which is surprising, they didn't do anything this year very well.
Yeah.
But whenever they are in, it's crazy. You know, people go nuts. My whole family is out of control. You know, a little out of control,
you know,
a little too much. I mean, they go nuts. You know,
it's like, you know, if the college fans enjoy the college game, and you see what the fanfare is when the band plays and 70,000 people going crazy. Yeah. Just picture a whole country backing up one team for a month every 4 years. Right. And it's just crazy. I'm seeing videos from my family's still over there. I have everybody except for my sister and her kids up in Union Beach, and my aunt. Everybody else is in Argentina. I haven't seen them in years. So,
so you have a lot of family in Argentina.
Everybody's still there.
What about you, Cheryl? Where's your family from originally? Your ancestors, your roots?
So, I mean, Alan's family is originally from Italy, and they migrated. So
a lot of people went to Argentina and Brazil.
Oh, yes. Italian. There's so many Italians in Argentina. I think it's the second largest Italian population is Argentina.
That's for sure.
So, so my mom is Italian. Well, it's 100%. My grandmother's side was from Palermo, Sicily. My grandfather's side was from Naples and Salerno, I believe.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then my dad, his family, that side of the family is Irish, English, Dutch, French.
Right.
And that whole melting pot. So, but so
she's like the UN, a little bit.
I am the UN.
A little bit of everything.
But so I'm actually more Italian than anything. It's just, I don't look it.
But you know what though? There are a lot of Italians have, light hair and fair skin too.
Yeah. My father.
His dad was.
Fair skin, blue eyes. You would never think he was Italian, but yeah.
And Cheryl, during this whole time that Alan was doing his thing, what were you doing at this point? I mean, like what were you doing, during the football days and during all that? Where were you? What were you doing?
Yeah. So for me, I was teaching. Like I said, I was a phys ed and health teacher, high school. I taught seniors. I had the older ones. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a rough one.
But it was great. I loved it. I taught for 32 years.
Amazing. 32 years. Very, very underrated profession. I tell you, man.
Thank you.
One school, no less.
Yeah.
In one place. And then you went there for how many years did you go to that school?
4 years.
So you were in that school most of your life.
Well, wow. Basically. And then, I was coaching, so I was busy. I had in the winter was basketball, and then spring was softball. And then in the summers, I ran like my own little camp, or I did some camps. And I also, believe it or not, played in a band like on the weekends.
I think I saw a picture somewhere where you were like a little rock and rollish in there.
Yes. That was my rock and roll days.
What did you do in this band?
What was the band? I played guitar, and I played little percussion, like hand percussion, congas, all that kind of stuff. And I sang a little bit.
Wow.
So I had some fun. Yeah, it was cool.
So you have you have the sports bug, you have the artistic bug, the athletic and artistic together,
Yeah.
and I guess your logical side would be your teaching. So you get to enjoy, you get to be logical for as much as you can, and then you
Yes.
get to enjoy some fun in other ways, and that's great.
Yeah.
You're in a
Yeah.
band, and I saw
Yeah.
that picture of you and Michael Perioli. How did that happen?
Oh gosh. So, like I said, we grew up in Belleville, New Jersey, which was Italian American.
Yeah. Is it a big
Irish.
Italian American area?
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. And so at the time, with the Sopranos, because the Sopranos were kind of based out of Belleville, New Jersey.
Oh, really? I had no idea that's where they were based.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Essex County.
Yeah, Essex County, and it
Okay.
was. I mean, they did a lot of filming in Belleville and the surrounding areas, but the story was from Belleville and the family.
Yeah, I think they were talking about back in those days was Vinny Ocean was the guy that Soprano was actually playing. The real guy's name was
and,
Vinny Ocean. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a lot of connected families in town.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Growing up,
That's-
you knew who the people were, and it was great. I wouldn't. I love that. I love that place. Growing up there was a great.
Yeah, it was-
Everybody knew the respect was there. People were honorable, and they took care of you, and they watched out for you.
Now,
and-
when you guys got married, you lived your life in Belleville.
No,
correct? No.
no. Let me get back to the
Yeah,
other thing.
yeah,
So
okay.
as far as Christopher,
Yes, Christopher.
Christopher. So one of my students, I'm going to give a shout out, Vinny Casarelli.
Hey, Vin.
so-
Let's hear. Hold on.
Vinny.
Let's hear Vinny Casarelli if he's listening today. Vinny Casarelli.
Vinny Casarelli.
They like him too. Oh, beautiful. All right.
So Vinny Casarelli's family, the Casarellis had a bunch of different things going on. His parents had the pharmacy. His dad was a pharmacist. His other uncle had the funeral home, this and that. So the funeral home scenes were all out of Casarelli Funeral Home in Belleville.
Okay.
But they also would film at Vinny's house sometimes. So like I said,
Wow.
he was one of my students. So
Vinny
he
had
knew
a Vinny had a good in with these people if they were doing a lot of
Vinny
filming.
had a good one. So Vinny would say, "Hey, I was Miss Marion at the time, my maiden name," and he's like,
Okay.
"Hey, Miss Mar, they're filming at my house next week. Come by." So I would show up and I would see everybody.
That's great.
So
So you were
yeah,
you were
it was
involved
fun.
within an area being involved in and they were there and you just being right there in the mix.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun.
That was a great one of my favorites. I wish they would have kept it going, but I didn't like the way it ended. But
unfortunately.
I know. Look, we got our mug.
you got your Sopranos mug. Hold on, look at my mug. Let me see if I'll show you my mug. Parisi's.
Yay! There you go. Absolutely.
So you
But
didn't
when,
you didn't live your life in Belleville.
No, the last 20 years, when Alan moved back to New Jersey, we got married. I had a house in West Caldwell, which was still Essex County.
Uh-huh.
So when Alan came back, we lived those rest of those years before we came down to Florida in West Caldwell.
And then you went to Florida and then you were in Claremont.
I would know just myself.
Oh, so you guys came to Venice, Florida.
Correct.
We came to Venice.
Yeah.
All right.
He
So
was in Claremont years ago.
years ago. So okay, so here we are in Venice, Florida. I was in Venice, Florida. You guys are in Venice, Florida. For some reason people find Venice.
Yeah.
My wife and I found Venice because we left Vegas. We moved out of Vegas.
Mhm.
And we ended up moving to Sarasota, and we were looking at that time. We were renting, and we said, we just stumbled across Venice, and we go, oh, we know we love
Yeah.
it here, and we bought a house. I walked, you know when you walk into a house and you go, oh, yeah, just put an offer in. This is the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it was with us. And of course
Same.
my daughter went through the school system in Venice, and I had my business, and it was great.
Oh,
And
okay.
and lived there 7-8 years until
Oh, okay.
But I grew up in Florida. Anyway,
Yeah.
how did you guys find Venice, Florida? Because Venice is not easy to find.
No, we were
We
looking
took a
at
chance.
yeah, we were looking at houses on we looking at houses, watching YouTube videos of markets and this and that. We came across a builder that we liked as far as houses, and the houses that we saw, they were on the East Coast. But we also found out that they had developments on the West Coast. I had a good friend of mine, Rich, who lives in the area in Northport. And he said, Al, you got to check out the West Coast. It's much better. This, that, the other. Because he lived a few different places in Florida. He loved it out here. So, long story short,
We were never on the West
we were
Coast.
never. never on the
Everything
West
was
Coast.
East Coast. Okay.
Yeah,
Everything was
yeah,
East Coast. I have family in, Boca, West Palm, that normal area
Sure.
that a lot of the Italian from New Jersey and New York go to.
Yeah, everybody. That's where they.
I
That's
do.
one of the reasons why I don't like it over there as
Yeah.
much, because it's like if I'm going to move there, why don't I just move back to Long Island?
That's what we
To
said.
me,
We said
you
the
know,
same
I'm a-
thing.
yeah.
I don't want to live that life anymore.
No,
Yeah,
exactly,
because
exactly.
we were in the hustle bustle. We were in North Jersey.
Yeah.
We were 11 miles outside of New York City. So, it we had to get away. And this is during COVID too.
Yeah,
Like
that was a big.
Okay.
I was teaching, and that did me in, and that's when I decided to retire. And
Well,
that's
30,
when
but 32 years though. You did it. You did it.
I did.
Well,
I was
you
gonna,
could have retired. You could have retired at 25 easy.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you were.
I
you
was
put
going
a
to
lot-
go a couple more years, but if it wasn't for that, we might have stayed a little bit longer.
Uh-huh.
But just how New Jersey changed and everything that happened
Yeah,
during
it
that
sure
time,
did. Yeah.
it was like, let's put the house up for sale and we're leaving. And that's what happened,
Yeah.
and we just took a chance on Venice.
Took
We
a
were
chance.
never here.
I came down. I came down.
We came down
I did
first.
everything over the internet. I reserved an apartment, put the down
Wow.
payment on it, drove down with a trailer full of all my stuff and my tools and all that kind of stuff. And I came down here, and I was down here, and I just started looking at houses that were for sale, land, that kind of thing. We didn't know which way we were going to go. And
I was
then-
still home teaching.
yeah, she had to finish out her
You were
year
still
teaching.
teaching.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I came
Yeah.
So
down in
you,
November.
so you were a body guy then. That's
Yeah.
what you did. That's,
Yeah.
You,
No,
you
no,
always
it's-
did that.
It's been my whole career, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mostly collision, and then the last maybe 15 years into the restoration end of it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I want to get into that more because that's a great story when we talk about your business and all that, but it's a different business now, I think.
Yes.
The regular body shop, not restoration. That's the same business because you're still working on hard bodies. But the new stuff now is another whole business, really. It's a whole different game. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And so, okay, so you moved to Venice, Florida. You love it there. And you started doing your thing. Because I remember, Cheryl, you were working. You would come to the trailer. You were working somewhere part time or doing something.
I was doing, well, what happened was,
Was it a chiropractor or?
I was at a chiropractor's office for like a year and a half. I was
Right.
a chiropractor assistant, and I did laser treatments on patients and all that kind of stuff. So I did that for about a year and a half. Yep.
Yeah. You remember Twin Palms Chiropractic?
Yeah.
Remember Dr. Dan Bush?
I think so. Dr. Dan. Yeah.
Dr. Dan. He left and he went to Tennessee.
Oh,
where
okay.
I moved to Franklin, Tennessee by Nashville for a
Right.
year. I lived in Franklin for a year. And then all of a sudden I see Dan Bush is there. And I'm like, holy shit.
No
we moved
way.
to- We moved to the same place. And
Really?
we left Venice the same time. I opened up my little consulting firm in Franklin. He opened up a chiropractor, and then I left Franklin. My wife and I, we decided, it wasn't for us.
Yep.
And moved back. And then I see that Dan moved back the same
He did?
month.
Wow.
Gosh, I didn't know that.
So
Wow.
he's gonna come on the show now, Dr. Dan Bush. He's actually based in Inglewood now. But yeah,
Okay.
I think you give it a year. I think a year will tell you a lot when you leave. We really missed Florida.
You did.
Do you
Okay.
find that, like, when you guys go back to Jersey, do you find like it's fun to be there for a week, but then you want to get the hell out of there?
We haven't been back.
Yeah.
You haven't been back, so you don't even know.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
No.
I don't get. We know that part of the world is changing. New York is changing. Jersey is changing.
Yeah.
Not for the good. Years ago, whether you were a Republican or a Democrat, it didn't matter when you said it. You could say you're a
Right.
Democrat, and everybody was, oh, you're a Democrat.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a Republican. It didn't matter. Everybody kind of lived their life, and we joke with each other. You're gonna lose, whatever. It was fun. It was fun. It was all fun, and rib tickling shit.
Yeah.
But now it's become such a
Now it's brutal.
violent. It's like violence.
It is.
It's like
Yeah.
you don't even like to say what you are. Like, I'm very open about that I'm a Republican, because that's who I am. I'm not going to deny that. But I
Right.
mean, when I opened up my business during COVID, I was
Right.
worried about saying that. So it was one of those
Yeah.
things, I don't even want to say I'm Republican. I'm not looking to make enemies here,
You get
But
attacked.
now I'm Republican. That's what I am.
Yeah.
And I wish everybody the best, and I hope the world heals itself somehow. But
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
happens, happen. But we
It's
all
tough
we all
times.
moved out for that reason. We all know why we moved away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I'm amazed by people who don't leave. like who still stay there, and
I understand some people
Yeah.
are stuck and they can't, which I
Yeah.
totally get, and it's
Their
it's tough.
family jobs,
Family
Yeah.
job. If
But-
you have a couple years before you retire, you don't want to give up and lose everything, so you got to stick it out. But
Yeah.
it's not for everybody. Same as down here. People, Florida. It's not for everybody. If you
It
can't
really
take
isn't for
don't
everybody.
come down here. It's
heat,
the way
and
it
Yeah.
is.
heat and hurricanes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired of hearing people say, "How do you handle the heat?" You know what? You just handle it. You just fucking do it.
Just
You
like
know,
we used to handle the cold.
Yeah, you just do it. You
The
just
blizzard.
go. There's air condition. You move it. Go inside. I don't know what to tell you. If you can't live in the heat, you can't live in the cold. Maybe where are you gonna go?
Where are you going?
Where are you gonna
Live in
go?
a bubble. Yeah. Yeah.
But so you're in Venice, and then I know Alan, you were working for another auto body shop, and you were there. Or you were like, how was that doing when you first got there? Cheryl was working in the chiropractic, working there for a year and a half, and you were working in another place, correct?
Yeah, I was working at a local shop here, a restoration shop,
Okay.
and I was there for almost 3 years. I was the body shop manager there.
Yeah.
So it just
It didn't work out.
move on. Things change, and it just wasn't the same.
Cheryl's
And
laughing. Cheryl's
all,
laughing.
all the wrong reasons, and it wasn't what what I was brought up with.
Right.
It wasn't what I was brought up with as far as integrity and honesty
Morals and
and
ethics.
having morals
And values.
and
And
value.
all the things that we, all three of us, grew up with.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The doing
Exactly.
doing the right thing,
Doing
trust,
the right
loyalty.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of
that's-
that.
And of course, I could see there's something there, and that's all right. We don't got to talk about that if you don't want to. I get it.
Yeah.
But fuck it, whatever.
It is what it is. We moved.
Yeah.
Listen, God works in mysterious ways. He closed the door for a reason, and shit happens to you for a reason. I firmly believe that, and I couldn't have what I have today if I was still stuck in that place.
And I 100% agree. And that's
Yeah.
the one thing and one of the things I stress about is how you can reinvent yourself.
Right.
And that was the show's concept at the beginning,
Yeah.
interviewing people who've reinvented themselves. But
Yeah.
it's interesting because we were talking one day at the trailer. I think the three
Yeah.
of us were talking at
Yeah.
my trailer, and I remember you saying back then that you were looking to get. Why don't we do this? You were going to do it together eventually.
Yeah.
This was brewing for a while. I know
Yeah.
that you were
Yeah.
looking to get into business. This is not an overnight thing. You've been thinking
No.
about it and talking about it.
No.
So you both joined forces now. Now you're a team. It's
Yeah.
a family business. It's called Babes. I love the name.
Babes, yeah.
And you do restoration. Explain a little bit about Babes.
It's a classic car restoration shop. So we don't do any of the newer cars. It's mostly classic muscle cars, vintage cars. I don't do any mechanical work. I'm strictly a body and paint guy. I have connections in town with people who do mechanical stuff for me when need to. So I give them mechanical work, and they do the mechanical work, and they send the body stuff over to me.
So you have a good relationship with other people, business to
It's a
business.
good connection, good relation. Yeah.
And
So
what
that's-
cars will you stop working on? Like what year do you say, oh no, I don't take it after this year?
It's anything like I don't know. It's probably classic antique cars are anything between 25 and 30 years old. So
Okay,
anything.
so somebody brings in a 1978 Monte Carlo. Is that something you could work on?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. I
So,
used to have a 78 Monte Carlo.
25 to 30 years, so we're back into somewhere around the 2000s.
Okay, so the 2000, because that business
It's
has
quite awesome.
changed, like we were talking about. Like now, I had my Mercedes. I had at one time I had to bring into a collision shop because somebody hit me, and it was the back fender and back bumper. And the guy at the collision shop just tells me, he goes, you know what? We don't fix anything. We just buy a part and we replace it. Now it's all, there's nothing you can fix. It's cracked. You can't. We don't.
Yeah.
Where years ago they would actually fix things. Where
Right.
now, I guess it's a different business, right? Now it's just replace.
Yeah.
Well, labor rates are different, so you might be able to get a cheap panel for $200 or $300 as opposed to a guy working on a car putting 5 or 6 hours in at whatever the labor rate is. And you're going to pay more money, but some people want the original panels on there, which you can do. That's not a problem. The more I wouldn't say cheaper, but I guess the economical way to do it is to get another panel and put it on.
Yeah.
Instead of spending. But some guys say, no, it's an original car. I want to keep it original, and you do whatever you can to
You do what
make
you
it.
can. It's funny. Years ago, I used to work. I was a corrections officer for a year
Nice.
Really?
Right before I got into comedy. Like
my God.
literally, I was a corrections officer. I went on an open mic one night in Pips in Brooklyn, in New York, and I said
Yeah.
the next day I went to my job at the corrections department of corrections. I said I quit. They said, "Why are you quitting?" I'm like, "Because now I'm a comedian and I don't relate to this anymore." And he goes, "What are you fucking nuts? You mean you're a comedian? Overnight you had one day off?" I said, "Yeah, that's it." But anyway, I used to drive back and forth to work. I had a 1974 Cuda. Do you know the Cuda?
Yeah, absolutely.
Had a 340. I think it had
340,
340
yep.
in it.
Yeah.
4 barrel. And anyway, Hemi and all that, right? So I had this car. I knew nothing that it was a classic car back, and this was an '88. I knew nothing that the '74 Cuda and the '71 Cuda were very desirable. You know, it was blue, it was beautiful, and it wasn't cherried. It was used, but it was nice. It could have been fixed perfectly. So one night I'm coming home. I'm driving home, and this is a mistake I made. I drove home and I got hit by another car. I was actually out in the intersection, and probably my fault. A little past the stop sign where the other car coming and just hit my whole quarter panel.
Yeah.
And the whole thing just went like this. And I got so frustrated, I actually gave the car to somebody. I didn't even sell it, nothing. I gave it away.
Yeah.
Years later, my brother tells me, he goes, "You know that Cuda you had's worth like $60,000 if you would have restored it."
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I gave it away. I said, "I don't want it anymore. I'm not going to fix this friggin' piece of shit." You know,
Yeah.
74. I'm going to get something new. You know, I'm going to buy a Toyota, you know?
Yeah.
And whatever. And that was back then. But so
know.
you restore cars. I love the fact that you have this vintage way about you, but even in the logo, it's very, you know, it's just real like pinup girl look, pinup style. I want to say it's kind of like the
Yeah.
You know, we're going for. We both enjoyed the '50s. You know, the music is number one.
Yeah.
And
That's
just the
what
cars, number two, and just like the whole atmosphere back in the day was great to grow up with.
And that's what we
Um,
grew up with. You know, like my parents, you know, that was their era. And they had a 57 Chevy in high school. And then after they got married out of high school, then they had a 1960 Impala. Yeah. And I wish I had these cars. now.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
I'm like-
know about them and you wish you had them, right? I know.
Exactly.
I'm like, Ma, where'd these cars go? And she
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, we sold them." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Right."
You don't
Because back then they weren't worth it. They were just worth, but they were worth, you know. They were blue
Yeah.
book, you know.
And it's true that everything comes back around again.
Cycle.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But you don't realize that, you don't know that, and you don't think that way back then. You just think like it's an old. It's like if I get rid of my car tomorrow, my car that I have now, in 40 years from now, it might be worth more money now, you know. But you don't. I'm not thinking about that car
not thinking
Oh,
in 40
that
years
way.
from now. You know.
Like the cars that like people collect the cars that like the 30s and the 40s.
Yeah.
Or now they're getting older, so now, but the younger crew is not really into them so much. So now we went through the Camaro and the Corvette stage and that kind of stuff. Now some of these older cars that didn't bring us now starting to come back around again.
Like this,
Yeah,
like
but
the cars when we were in high
When
school.
we were in high school, are starting to make their way back into the.
What'd you have
into the-
what'd you have in high school? What'd you guys drive? Do you remember?
Well, I had a hand-me-down '69 Chevelle.
Wow, that's a nice
that was my mom, so I drove that one. I didn't have anything new until probably like 1989 when I was working at the dealership. So, but other than that, I had that '69 Chevelle for a little while.
Yeah.
Chevelle was a nice car, though.
Yeah. Actually, I picked one up for myself now, a convertible. So we're gonna be working on that one. So,
But do you see in the future being in the business, like, okay, so let's say the 1978 Super Sport, you know, or let's say a '78 Monte Carlo. I had that in high school. And
Yeah.
it had the Landau roof, and it was perfect. You know, and back then it was just a '78 Monte Carlo, and that was the end of it. I had the velour seats back then, the red inside, white car. It was nice. And now you try to find that car, and it's worth some money.
Yeah.
But do you think in like 40 years from now, somebody's going to say, "Oh, I really want to get my hands on a 2022 Acura Legend," or you think that's going to be like, will these cars of today ever? Do you see any of these cars of today hitting classic value?
Yeah, I do. I do see some of these cars coming around. Limited edition stuff. They're always hot. Cars that were popular the last maybe 15 years. I do see them coming back around again because it's what people in high school drove at that time.
Because you're really buying the memory. You're not buying the car. Yeah, you're buying the memory.
Yeah. You're buying the package that comes with it, and the times you're hanging out with your friends, trips with your family, whether it's a station wagon, whether it's a van. It all comes back full circle. It does.
Like if I bought the 1979 Pinto today, right? Which was the shittiest car back in the day. And if I took
Pinto and
that,
the Gremlin.
the Gremlin, if I took that car and cherried it out today, I'd be the talk of the town. Like, this guy's got a '78 Pinto. I mean, it's fucking,
Yeah.
it's hot, you know. Because, but
it's-
back then, it's a piece of, it used to blow up on the side of the road, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh my God, yes.
absolutely.
So how do you
I'm trying-
like the experience of having your own business now, working together every day, married couple, like my wife and I were married, working every day together.
Yeah.
How do you like that experience, being around each other now at work, and then you go home, and then you're home?
Well,
How
it's
do you-
kind of
It's great.
It's kind of. I don't have a.
We're
the-
good.
no, the thing
It
is,
is great.
the thing is, it shows her what my side of working was compared to like a teacher stuff, where
Yeah.
she went to the same place every day and it was her curriculum and students, and it's a different atmosphere as opposed
Yeah.
to, and
Totally
yet,
different.
paid holidays and paid days off. That, when you get into the body shop and mechanic business, it's very, very difficult to find a shop that gives you paid time off.
Right.
Even vacation.
Even
I
vacation
never
time.
got vacation time.
Yeah,
Nothing. And I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you got to be here 6 months to get a day and a half worth of pay, and you got to.
Right.
It's like
Sick
crazy.
Yeah,
day,
yeah.
nothing.
So like,
terrible.
when she's on my end and she sees it and she sees the work that has to be done to the car, so as opposed to saying, "Oh, what'd you do today?" "Oh, I had to fix the whole side of a Camaro or something." "Oh, okay." But when she's actually there and she's
Yeah.
walking around the shop, and she sees me fixing something. She sees the effort and what has to be done
It's a
to
lot.
What needs to be done? Yeah.
beat up
It's a lot.
and rusty to a finished product that's
Yeah.
shiny and brand new and looking like you just roll off the showroom floor.
Yeah.
It's a different mindset. Like you have
And then
to
and then you can see the value and why things like that can cost
Why it
upwards of
costs
money.
so much?
And
Yeah.
people don't realize it. They think, oh,
Yeah.
everybody's an expert. That's not an expert. You notice that?
Yes.
Oh, you ever have everybody comes? I'm sure you have people come in the garage. Yeah, come on, this is a nothing job. Stop bullshitting me. I know you can get this done in an hour.
Exactly.
They don't know. They don't know that
They have no
it's not really
clue.
done that. Yeah.
Car is 40 or 50 years old. Who knows how many times it's been fixed or repaired, or somebody
Right.
else got in there before you and did some stuff to it. So even looks good on the outside. It's nice and shiny. If there's something underneath it that you can't see, or now it's cracked, for me to get to it and repair it, it's a lot of labor. Who knows if they repaired it right the first time?
Right.
So
Because years ago, a lot of the cars you're dealing with now, years ago, those cars when they were on the road normally would be getting fixed by parking lot bondo people. Remember the guys that go in the parking lot? They were usually from another country, and they would bondo it up,
Yeah.
and sand
Yeah.
it down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then it would fall off on the way home. You had a big hole in your fender,
Yeah. Guys fix it. They used to fix your car while you were shopping at Pathmark or shop
Yeah,
right up
yeah,
there.
that's what they do.
You come out,
You're
you know,
shopping, and they come over to you, go, look at this, I can get this done in 20 minutes. Give me 20 minutes.
You come out with a loaf of bread and some cold cuts, and your car's painted, ready to go back home. That's
And
it.
it's perfect, It's like, but nobody knew it was paper. It was like paper mache under there, Nobody knew what the hell it
Exactly.
was.
As soon as you get water, the color ran off.
Yeah, it was terrible. But,
Yeah.
but people were doing it all over. It's like everywhere you went, they had these bondo guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other
Um,
thing too, like I said, now that I see exactly what he goes through, when he starts tearing a car apart, you don't know what's inside, the clips that are broken. This
Right.
is bad. This is rusted, and it's just some of these cars are challenging, and
Yeah,
it takes
yeah.
a lot of time and a lot of effort to make them right. And he's going to make them right, and he's going to
Yeah,
do it the right way.
That's what
That's the
I'm saying.
thing.
You're truly. It's almost more than you're not a body guy. It's like an artist now, and
It's a total art.
It's definitely a craftsman.
It's a craft.
It's a dying art too. I mean, everybody can go online and order brand new parts and put on a fancy bumper and drywall screw it, and then hide it with filler and go, I got a custom car. No, it's more than that.
And then when
And
you're
it's-
getting into the paint,
Yeah.
that's a whole other area.
That's another. And if you can't find the part, sometimes you have to make the part. I mean, if you can.
Yeah, there's certain things you
Yeah.
have to fabricate. We fabricate small things, pieces of metal, cut, shape, weld things together for bracketry that they don't have anymore. So there's things you have to fabricate and make, and sometimes they don't have it.
Yeah.
When they don't have it, I should say, you have
They
to
don't
make
have
it.
it.
Yeah.
Now, when you walk into Babes, because the logo is hot. I've seen some of the pictures. I like that you have the little coffee area.
Yeah.
We got to get you some Parisi coffee. I'm going to send you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This way you could use the coffee.
That
Yes.
was awesome.
Because we still sell coffee, by the way. I still coffee business.
Yeah, and I used to buy your coffee. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
And I still sell it. So
That's
I'm gonna
what I'm
I'll
saying.
send you a few bags to the shop.
The
I'll
Fat
send you like,
Clemenza, that was the winner.
That was the one we
I
liked.
still sell the Fat Clemenza. I sell the cannoli, and I sell
The cannoli.
the
Cannoli's
Italian.
good.
Yeah.
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 So and,
yeah,
and I sell them in whole bean or in ground. What do you guys ground? You like
we
them
have
ground?
we have the machine. We have
Yeah,
both, so
both.
we can do it either way.
Okay, so I'm going to send you a few bags just so you can keep there and there. But when people come into Babes,
Mhm.
and it's like that 50s vintage style,
Yeah.
do you try to create the experience with that too, or
Yeah.
people don't really care? Yeah,
I think for the
like
most
when you
part,
walk in there, I know you have the neon, and I saw the office area. It looks cool. But are
Yeah.
you playing 50s music in the background? Are you
Yeah,
doing anything
sometimes
like
we'll
that?
have that. Yeah, for sure. And what I wanted, the office and the lounge area, I guess, the coffee station and all that.
Yeah,
We took it from, a diner, the old 50s diner
soda shop
soda-
diner look,
and that's
Right.
what we grew up with, diners everywhere in New Jersey.
I love
And
it.
the other thing too is the experience, because a lot of them, some of them are older gentlemen or even ladies,
Mhm.
and I want it to be welcoming. I want them to be comfortable. Come on in,
Right.
sit down, have a cup of coffee with us.
Yeah.
There's some snacks or whatever, and talk.
Yes.
Because,
I
like
agree.
you said, everybody has a story, and
Everybody
we have
has a
our
story.
And every one of these cars has a story, and some of them are really really cool.
Yeah, and they
I
want to
can
talk
just
about it.
imagine. Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
about too, like I said, my parents grew up in the 50s era, and
Right.
um, you know, I picture my dad, if my dad was still here, what would he be doing? He would love to come in and sit and have coffee and hang out and kibitz and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was thinking of
100%.
him too, so that's one of the things why we did things the way we did. But yeah, we want the customer to have a great experience, not just in the garage, but
But
there.
even while they're hanging out there, or even if
Yeah.
they're not, even if they just want to come there anyway and hang out and talk cars.
We do.
tell them all the
And we
time.
tell them. We had a guy come in last week. I'm going to give a shout out to Uncle Ernie.
Oh,
Um,
let's hear. Wait, we got Uncle Ernie. You know Ernie's name at all?
His
Other
name
than
is
Ernie?
Ernie Ricky.
Ernie Ricky, everybody. All right. Yes. They love
He's
Ernie. Yeah.
awesome.
All right.
Oh
Ernie.
my God.
All right.
Uncle Ernie is awesome. He's turning 80 at the end of
Oh
August.
wow.
And this guy was a army doctor. He's like MASH.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like medic, like one of the medic, like in the field.
Yeah, he was a doctor in the army,
Wow.
lifer. And he came in to visit us last week, and he sat there for like an hour and a half, having coffee. We were talking, and just
It's
this
a
is what
spot.
it was awesome. He's telling us old stories, and he has all these different cars he's had throughout the
Yeah.
years. And
And he throws stuff by me like he wants to, pick up another car, do this, do that, and what do you think it's going to take, and so on and so. So they bounce stuff off you to kind of get an idea what they're going to be in for,
Yeah.
for their cars and stuff like that. So it's good. He's got some great classic cars, antique cars that are immaculately done, and we help them out whenever we can.
yeah, he's looking-
Everything starts with a conversation. I mean,
Yes.
conversation is everything, and a conversation usually goes well with a cup of coffee. And
Yep.
and you're sitting down and you want to put a pound cake on the table, get yourself a little diner booth you could put in the corner,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
put salt and pepper shakers on there, even if you're not going
Yeah.
to use them, and just make it look like you create the experience of the pound
Yes.
cake, have a slice of cake, enjoy a cup of coffee, and people
Yeah.
hang. Before you know it, word gets out, man.
Yeah.
It's the experience is
Right.
really what people
Yes.
come for. When I had
Yeah.
Parisi's, when I had Parisi's, it was the food. Yes, it was great, and what you're doing is great too. But without the experience, it doesn't matter how great the food is. When you came to Parisi's, you knew that he was going to yell something out of the window, or something was going on that day, or and he was going to recognize you in the back and something was
take
going on.
pictures.
Take
Yeah.
pictures and put a. But that's what I created the experience, and I think what you're doing by doing that and having that feeling, you're setting yourself aside from everybody else. That's what it comes down to. Yeah,
For sure. And that's what we wanted also. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
and then where do you see the vision? What's your vision? What year do you guys graduate? Like, I mean, what era are you? I don't really know. It's
We
hard to tell 'cause you guys-
graduated We graduated in 85. We're 59.
Okay, so I'm 61. We're in the same kind of. I'm 83,
Yeah.
so same genre.
Yep. Yep.
As we get older, like I always say, I don't let retirement get in my way of doing what I do.
Right.
I'm not one of those guys. I think I put a video out the other day. I said about,
Yes.
how do you feel about that? I mean, and even though what you do, Alan, is a very hard job. Like what I was doing, I'm self-admittingly, I don't want to do that again because it was tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your vision for your lifespan of that? Is that something that you can maybe have somebody come in and you can mentor them? And how does it work? Like where are you going to go with it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind bringing somebody in and mentoring them. Reaching out to the local tech
apprentice.
schools.
Yeah.
But it's like I said before. Some of the younger kids, they you need somebody who's really into cars and wants to fix and repair things and see the value of a good quality repair, and also working with the big, stronger materials as opposed to this thinner stuff that's out there now, where you can't just go online, you can't go on Amazon and order a part and put it on a car and think that everything's okay. So it's just the guys that it's very hard work, and unfortunately that's been lost over the last 25 or 30 years.
So do you think it's a dying art? I would say it's a dying art. Yeah.
Yes.
It's helped the business end of it, and some young kids getting into it. All the TV shows that are on there with these guys that are in cars, and they see things, and naturally it doesn't happen in a week, and guys working 24/7. Yes, 13, 14 guys working on one car, and they get it down in a week, and it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and the guy's painting the car. That's not reality. That's just for the show.
Yeah, that's it.
But who's doing it though? When they do these barn finds, you ever see them on YouTube?
Normally it's the older guys. Yeah.
Yeah. They find these rusted Packards in the middle of a barn. They take it out. And they restore it. I mean, they really restore it. Is that something that you do? Like, do you get down and dirty, like really getting into every nook and cranny and completely? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I find that just amazing.
Cutting out rusted metal and cutting out floorboards and going through everybody else's previous repairs, grinding, welding, and
he's a mess.
Plus, it's like in the shop, if it's 90 something outside, in the shop is probably about 110, 107, and 110.
Oh,
and you're sweating as soon as you walk in the door, and grinding and everything's just sticking to you. Nothing bounces off. Like you can take a blowgun, but nothing's going to move. But it's like just stuck to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you wear a full bodysuit, which is not going to happen when it's 110 out.
And do you have one of those rooms in the body shop? I think they call them like a paint room. Everything is covered up, and it's just a car and you. And you're just going ballistic on the car.
Spray booth. Yeah.
I have a spray booth. I have a mixing machine, which I mix the colors myself. So we have all the tints there, and whatever color the customer wants, or whatever the original color was, the systems that we use gives you the formula to make it match back in the day. So
And where exactly in Venice are you? I know I actually, when I was last time in Venice, I didn't know exactly. I didn't have the address on me. I was going to drive by. I was only there a couple of weeks ago. I was going to drive by and say hello. But then you told me you're by the Jacaranda, by past Jacaranda. Yeah. Or is it Laurel or Jacaranda?
No, it's Jacaranda. You do the circle if you're heading towards 75 on Jacaranda. You're going to go underneath the 75 overpass to the first light. It's Commerce Drive. There's a 7-Eleven there.
Okay.
Make a right into that Commerce, and we're about maybe a quarter mile on the right-hand side into the commercial center.
Into the commercial center. So that's where they can find you. You're on Instagram. And I think people need to go there and just experience what Babes is all about, because I know the story behind it is blood, sweat, and tears. I know you guys put everything into it. That I know. How do you like dealing with the public now? First of all, how do you like? Okay, I said earlier, you're working together. When you go home, do you take your job with you, or do you stay? You kind of say, now it's time to be husband and wife again.
We try not to.
Try not to. Sometimes something will come up as far as remembering, because you get older, you forget stuff like, oh shit, I got a disc for so and so's car. She'll say something. Hey, don't forget, you got to reach out to so and so and touch base with him, and I'll forget that kind of stuff. But we don't come home and sit on the couch across from each other and just talk about what has to get done tomorrow. I like to unplug.
You have to. That was something my wife and I, we would go home. Of course, there had to be a little bit of her reminding me, because she's the one that reminds me of everything.
The same thing. Yeah.
She's my reminder, whatever it is. Don't forget this, don't forget that. And I usually forget, whatever she reminds me of, because she reminds me so much, I forget whatever the beginning was.
Yeah.
But and then but then we were done. After a little while, we would sit in the living room, put the TV on, and
Yeah.
we just chill out. Then it was time to
Yeah.
get a bag of chips, watch
Yep.
TV, you know, and just hang out.
Watch a show because some,
Yeah,
you know,
we
some of
do
the stuff
the
on
same.
TV we don't get into. So we go back and we binge watch shows that are on TV and kind of get into that. We will go back and watch older stuff that we already saw already. We just like it because it's entertaining.
Yeah.
Have you ever
But,
have you
yeah.
ever went back to the body shop at night just to go and hang when there's nothing going on, just like to just kind of look around?
No, but
Just,
we
you know,
have
just like-
cameras, so I can
just
go there and
go-
I can kind of scope in and kind of look at stuff and kind of, you know, sometimes I get a game plan for tomorrow. I'll see where things are at because, you know, some things happen between me getting home and then going to bed. But since we have the
Yeah.
camera at the shop, I can jump on there and go, okay, tomorrow I'm going to come in and I'm going to do this first.
Do you
and
find
not-
yourself looking at the cameras a little too much though?
No,
Yeah.
not at all. No.
Oh,
We have a
because when I
little-
had Parisi's, I would watch my cameras. Like I was always watching my cameras. I was kind of obsessed with watching the camera for whatever reason.
Oh.
I don't know why. I just could. And I
Really?
did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. We have the internal cameras, which I can jump on whenever we want. We have external cameras too to watch the side of the shop. So something comes by, we have
Get the alert.
the detector. It could be a rabbit running across from the woods or somebody throwing out a garbage from the next unit over from us or whatever. I get a ring on the thing and I just click on it and I can open up and see what's there. So it's great.
Yeah,
That's the only
that's
time.
cool.
I don't sit there and look through videos all day long now.
What do you think about the new generation of where, you know, and not political wise, just the new generation in general, the different genres, like especially with you, Cheryl, working in the high school for so long.
Yeah.
You were there for 3 generations, right?
Yeah.
Every 10 year. So you saw
Yeah.
3 different styles. But
Yeah.
like we're Gen X.
Yeah.
I wasn't impressed with the millennials.
No.
And I'm not impressed with the
Z.
new generation, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of impressed with, like, my daughter's 21. I'm kind of
Okay.
I'm starting to see with the 20-year-olds now that, but this is personally, maybe I just see that they're at least trying to make money in their own way and becoming entrepreneurs and business people and side hustles and all that. I kind of agree with it, even though I know it's hard to find good help nowadays, and I would complain I can't get anybody to help me.
Yeah.
But then
Right.
again, why would I want somebody to help me when I know that that person is doing something and making, you know, $1,000 a day, either trading or doing something online or making money? I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you can't blame them in a sense. you know?
no.
Right.
You know, how do you feel about that, Cheryl, in particular?
They
Because
have-
being in the business, being in
Yeah.
high school.
Because like you're saying, as far as the younger generation, they're exposed to more things that, of course, that we didn't have growing up, and the whole social media and, you know, different opportunities, like you said, to even, you know, make money in a different way, where, you know, we're old school. As far as the generations that I had throughout the high
Yeah.
school, you know, with my kids, with the students, I call them my kids.
Sure.
But I do remember the last few years, and I wasn't understanding it, but now I do. There were kids that were telling me that they were going to be influencers.
Right. Okay.
And I was like, what are you talking about? What's
That's
an influencer?
interesting.
I didn't even know what that was. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you talking about? And so now some of them are.
Have
and
some
so-
of them done it? Have some of them actually became influencers?
Some of them have, yeah.
Yeah.
Others, the other thing totally was not understanding the gamers.
Yes.
Amen.
That's big. God. That's
Oh my
crazy.
God. I didn't know this. And our school actually then had a club. They created a club for these kids that were gamers, and I didn't understand what it was, what
Right.
they do. These people make a lot of freaking money.
But we had games
And
back
these
in the 80s,
tournaments.
though. We had
But-
arcades back then. We had Atari,
Yeah.
Donkey
Well,
Kong,
yeah.
Space Invaders,
Yeah.
Asteroids. We had that too. But, you know, it's a
This
whole
is
different.
competitive.
This
Yeah,
is
this
crazy.
is serious. This is
Yeah.
serious. They have their whole getup. They got 3 screens going. They're all hooked in, and I'm
Yeah.
like, and they're playing, you know, people from around the world in tournaments, and they're making money. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
you have
They
colleges to give out. You have colleges to give out
they have
scholarships.
scholarships.
Yeah, it's becoming. It actually is becoming something. You know.
Yeah,
Which
Yeah.
I can't,
Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe because we are from a different generation. You know,
Yeah.
to me, playing a game was playing a game. We enjoyed it.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Who
We used to
knew
play
we was going to
board games.
graduate? Yeah,
Remember
board
that?
games. Yeah,
Board
you know,
games.
we would play like
Monopoly,
Monopoly,
Risk.
Life.
Life.
Uh,
I used to love Risk.
Yeah,
was
then every
big.
once in a while, somebody break out a Ouija board and everybody freak out.
Yeah, we did that too.
It was mostly the Ouija board. But you remember back in the day, and I think that everybody in our generation kind of grew up. Our best friend, like in my family, our best friends were our cousins,
Cousins.
and cousins were like best friends back then. And
Yeah.
they would come over the house, and we'd play
Yes.
records when we were kids, and on the record player, or we'd jump on the beds, or
Yeah.
and they were in the kitchen smoking and drinking coffee, the adults, and we
Yes.
would just go on fucking ballistic because nobody was
Yeah.
paying attention.
Yeah.
And then somebody would fall, and then of course they would come in with the cigarette
going
thing.
on
What the
up
fuck
there?"
are you doing in there? You know.
Yeah. It's
But,
so true.
that
And
was
yeah,
the
we're in the
generation.
basement.
Yeah, the basement was great,
The
and some
basement.
basements we'd have the finished basement. Like you ask any
You
kid
had the
nowadays.
basement
I didn't have a basement.
in
No,
high school.
no, we didn't have a basement in
Yeah.
high school, but my uncles and aunts had basements, and we never had one. But they would
Yeah.
build the finished basement.
The
you know,
finished basement. Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It
the
was.
paneling.
Yeah,
Paneling.
we had the paneling, and they'd have a bar down there.
There was
you
always a
know?
bar.
There was always
Yeah.
a bar with mice and shit hanging all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then, like you said, sometimes then either the parents were upstairs in the kitchen having coffee and Entenmann's.
Entenmann's was a big cake then.
Yeah.
You know? Everybody
then
had,
the kids
everybody
were-
brought one over.
But my dad used to go to Entenmann's every Saturday up by Willowbrook Mall. There was an Entenmann's, at a warehouse.
Yeah,
He would come home with 2 stacks of just Entenmann's, and they tied it in the string. He'd come home,
yeah.
and then my mother would like freeze a bunch. You always had to have Entenmann's.
You
in
always
case
had to
it
have
was over.
And and everybody who came over, whenever we had, Michael, company's coming over tonight. It was one of those things. Everybody who came over would bring an Entenmann's.
Yes.
So when everybody left, there's only so much you can eat. We always had Entenmann's on our counter, and then
Yeah.
when we would go over somebody's house to visit, they would always have Entenmann's on their counter. So it was just
Yeah.
always a stack of friggin' Entenmann's wherever you went.
Yes, I know. But the Entenmann's doesn't taste the same anymore.
It's different now. Even
Different.
the coffee cake, pound cake, all different now.
Yeah.
All of it is different.
Yeah.
I know. All of it is
Yeah.
different.
Not the same. Yeah.
And then
It's
like
not.
Sundays, like Sundays was an event at my like we went
Oh,
to my
yeah.
grandparents, on Sunday for gravy, and you went at 2 and you just ate until like 8 o'clock. I just remember
Yeah,
we went home.
it never ended.
This is how I remember going home. It was after either Lawrence Welk was over or what was the Mutual of Omaha
Wild Kingdom.
Wild
Oh,
Kingdom.
the Wild Kingdom, right? Yeah, I used to love the Wild Kingdom.
Yeah, and then when that was over, then we went home.
It's funny. As much as I hated Lawrence Welk when I was a kid, because I just felt it was boring.
It was.
If I saw Lawrence Welk come on now, I'd totally watch Lawrence Welk.
Yeah.
I would watch the show.
Yeah.
If it was like a whatever on YouTube and I saw Lawrence Welk, I would turn it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was the other one. Yeah. Do you remember what was the other one? Masterpiece Theater was another one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Remember that
God.
one?
Yeah.
And then on Sunday mornings, of course, I mean, in my family, we woke up to like Abbott and Costello was on all those shows.
Absolutely. Yeah. 11
And-
o'clock.
and-
right?
And then
Yeah.
after school, we'd come home from school as kids in like
Yeah.
elementary school and middle school. We'd watch, we'd have the Brady Bunch, Gilligan's Island, McGillicuddy
Partridge
was some of the
Family.
cartoons, Partridge Family,
Yep.
the Munsters. Were you Munsters
Yeah.
fans or Adams Family fans? Munsters or Adams Family?
I was probably more Munsters.
I was Munsters, yeah.
I would want to say monsters.
Because of the
Yeah.
cars they had, all the cool shit.
Yeah, the cool cars. I was more Munsters because I don't know. I just thought it was a better show. Adams Family was a little
Yeah.
too over the top for me.
Yeah.
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 I still think the Munsters is more of a cult classic, if you ask me.
Yeah.
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 It's interesting how we can reminisce about those days. It was wonderful. We had great childhoods growing up without any devices. We had no devices. We had no phones.
None.
No answering machines. And I mean, maybe later on we had one. We barely had call wait. We barely had, it was a busy signal if you couldn't find you
Yeah.
on the phone. And we were still able to do it and make it, Um,
Yeah. There
and
was
nowadays,
one phone.
yeah, one
You know,
phone. Yeah.
One phone in the kitchen, and if I had to talk, you
It
took.
had an 80-foot cord.
We went,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
went
and
into
you put it under
the
your arm. and
went
just
into
talk.
the pantry. I went into
Yeah.
the pantry, closed the door.
Yeah.
That's what our phone was. Yeah.
Yep. And then I remember my sister getting the princess phone in her room. It was like a big deal. We had an extension,
Yes.
But
Yeah,
and then
got
and then when she was on the phone, my mother would pick it up and listen, and then she would go, "Ma, get off the phone."
Yes. Yep. I do remember that too. Same. Same. Oh my
I think we all lived that generation.
So
Yeah.
funny.
What
was the
scares me
best.
more about the new generation, like what kind of memories what are they gonna? I hope they have memories. I know my daughter will, but
Yeah.
She'll, because I run my house like it's 1980 here. I mean, like inside, you know,
We were the same. Yeah, no, we were the same.
you
Yep.
know, she's definitely a good girl. She's like
Yeah.
very, you know, she always says, "Dad, how come my friends aren't like us?" I'm like, because it's all parenting. You know, it all stems
Old
from
school.
parenting. Yeah.
And it was the same with Nick. We raised him old school. You know, he had his rules, his chores, his, you know, all that kind of stuff where his friends didn't.
Right.
And you know, it was like you have to, you know, contribute to the family, you know. So
Yeah.
when we need you to come outside to shovel some snow, that we have 2 feet of snow, you have to come outside and help us, you know,
Yeah.
or take
Yeah.
the garbage out, or, you know,
Yeah, cut the lawn, whatever.
cut the lawn, or, you know, I taught him how to do his own laundry when he was like 13. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're going to do your own laundry now, because that's what I did when I was 13.
Yeah, and that's
you
how
know?
you but you're teaching them skills. This is
Skills,
something
life
that is
skills.
life skills. You know,
That was the whole
and
idea. Yeah.
that was, and when I left New York as a young guy. I mean, I grew up in Florida, but then I went back to New York, became a comedian, went to L.A. When I first got to L.A. and I got my first apartment. And you know, and I kind of grew up with my mother making my bed in the morning. You know, I never made my bed; she'd make my bed, and she, you know, I was a spoiled Italian American kid. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But when I got to L.A. and I had my first apartment in Hollywood, all of a sudden I became my mother. I would clean my apartment. I had to look nice because I grew up that way. So
Yeah.
if I grew up in a really nice, clean home, and now how am I going to live like in filth? I couldn't do it. So
Right.
I learned how to be clean and be organized.
Yes.
I learned how to start
Yeah.
cooking things and do them on my
Yeah.
own. And it just
Independence.
comes to you. Even if I didn't do it as a kid, it just came to me for some reason.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and you know, we wanted to teach him how to be independent. You know,
Yeah.
like he still lives in New Jersey. He's 27, and
Okay.
he's, you know, he's has his thing, and you know, he's working. He's been in his own apartment since he's what, 21, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, yeah, he takes care of himself and everything's good.
And he's doing good though. You're proud of that because he
Yeah.
did a good job. You grew him up the right way. You know.
Yeah,
That's
he's
you can be
great.
proud
Yeah,
of
we,
that.
we wanted him to come down here when we moved down here to Florida. We told him, wanted to
We
come
asked
down,
him.
and he asked him. He says, "No, because I like
He's
it
like,
up
"No."
here. I want to stay." So
Yeah.
You know what? He's a city, like he loves New York City.
He enjoys
So-
that lifestyle. Yeah.
He
Yeah,
loves
yeah.
that lifestyle. So
Some
him
people
and
have it.
friends,
Yeah. Yeah.
they jump in. Where me, I mean, I used to go to the city a lot when I was in my 20s and 30s, even drive in like
Oh,
a
yeah.
nut. But you know, it was nice, but then as you get older, it's like, oh my God, I
Yeah,
don't
I
want to
don't even
go. I don't
bother
even want to
with
go
that.
in there.
No
You know,
thanks.
it's so crazy.
So,
So, but
as,
he loved it.
as we're getting older, you know, what is next for the Zenobis?
Well, try to keep the shop going and work as long as I can. As long as I'm enjoying it.
Right.
When it starts becoming work, and I'm not having fun anymore, and I have to, it's dreadful to get out of bed and go to the shop, and it kills me to put the key in the door. And go, all right, then that's going to be a problem. That's when I know to pull the plug.
But
Right.
also physical.
You know,
It's a very physical job.
It is. What you're
So-
doing is very physical. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the other thing too. He has to be careful. He has to watch, and you know,
I
Yeah,
think the
but-
main. I think we have to stay healthy. We have to stay healthy.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing, being healthy, so we can live that lifestyle and do that kind of work, especially being healthy, man. I mean, you know how people say, Al, I get my steps in because I walk around all day, or I'm moving constantly, or I'm lifting something. I'm exercising, but you still have to, you're an athlete. You got to keep healthy.
yeah, yeah.
We've been. I like cycling. I still like cycling, so I
Good.
go out on rides. I go on Legacy Trail. I'll go around the island if I have to, put a couple
Nice.
miles in. But I can, I do between 20 and 25 miles on a trip. Now it's a little hot out, so I either got to go late at night on the weekends, or I go early in the morning and get home before 9 o'clock or 10, because then it's too much.
It's too hot.
Too
Yeah.
much.
It's too hot. But
Yeah,
we
it
have
is.
our gym in the back here. We do some stuff. I had some, between playing ball for a couple of years, I had some
Good.
knee injuries. So I try to keep mobile, I guess, because, after a while between standing all day long and then squatting and stuff, I come home and it's a little tough to get it off the couch. But,
It does. And the more, that's when I feel my age. Like I feel my age sometimes if I'm sitting on the couch for like an hour watching TV. When I get up, the initial get up to go
Yeah.
into the kitchen, the initial, I could feel it. But try to keep healthy. That's the best we can do.
Yeah.
Well, this was a great show. Did you enjoy coming on today? We talked about a lot of
Yeah,
nice
for
things.
sure. For
Did
sure.
we miss?
love it.
Did we
We love
miss
it.
any? Did we miss anything? Is there anything we didn't bring up that we wanted to get out?
Just when we came down here a little bit, as far as me getting sick and hurricanes and all that kind of stuff. But when we
How do you
first moved,
deal with how do you feel about the hurricanes?
it was
We're getting better at it.
yeah, we're getting better at it. Yeah, we're sticking it out, and it's a chore when they're coming to get to prep for it. You get the madness of it. Up north it's milk and bread for the snowstorm.
yeah.
Down here
Oh, yeah.
it's batteries and generators and gasoline. Make sure you have enough. That kind of
Water
shit. And then it's the 18 to 20 hours of pummeling, and then
Right.
hoping that you come out unscathed, and then it's a week or two of
and
cleanup.
cleanup. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and then fixing the fences and fixing all the trees that
Yeah.
came down,
Yeah,
and all the
picking-
businesses got to fix their stuff. Now, how is your business? How will that handle it?
We don't
Before
know.
you moved- But
It'll
it
be the
is-
first. It'll be the first one. It's in a complex, a commercial complex. So it's a concrete building with a metal roof.
But how
So-
was it? How was it past hurricanes? Was it there for the other hurricanes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
building's been there for like 20 something years, and it's
And how
fine.
does it? Did you ask how it did? It always did well.
yes.
Yeah, no
Good.
flooding, anything like that. Everything's been
Yeah.
fine. The people who work next to us have been there for 8-10 years, and
They've been fine.
or anything. Yeah.
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 It was during a hurricane. One thing I have to say, and I think in Venice last year you did really well. There was nothing. This year they're not expecting
thank
much.
God.
So
Everybody says that was the 100-year storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I
crazy.
I was at the office on Base Avenue when it was going on, because we left the house because we said we lived across the street from the Gulf, and we left the house. We said we can't stay here just in case. We
Yeah.
waited, but the water was starting to come across. It was starting to reach our home, and we left and we sat in the office, and I watched it on camera up until I lost power. But I saw the water was coming closer and closer to my door. Then the camera went off, and I was like, I got that pit in my stomach, And I
Yeah.
said, well, I already knew at that point the houses across the street got flooded. We knew that already. It happened. We saw
Right.
it happen. Now it's like, we're next. And it kissed my doorway. And then I went home around midnight because I wanted to just check. I walked in bone dry. And I'm like, thank God that we didn't get flooded. But,
Yeah.
Again, lost fence, lost trees. And then I told my wife, I'm like, listen, we didn't get flooded. Let's just
Right.
sell it. Let's sell the house. I think this was a calling,
Yeah.
and the real estate guy people, they're always like, it's the 100-year storm. I'm like, yeah, but what about the 200-year storm that might be next year? I said, the one that has
Right.
Yeah.
the one that
Yeah.
could be worse, And,
Right.
But I really love Venice, and I miss Venice, and I still we feel very attached to Venice.
Yeah.
It's a special place.
Yeah. It's a nice
But
place.
we love best decision. We love it down
We
here.
love it here.
And
For
I wish you guys the best with your business. I'm excited. Babes is
Thank
in
you.
action.
We appreciate it. Thanks for having
Thank
us on.
you.
It's
And
great.
do you go to all the car shows and at least the meetups and stuff in the Culver parking
Yeah.
lots and
As many as
and
we
do all-
can, yeah, we have a little booth set up, and we have stuff, and we talk to people, have some cards and flyers to send out, and conversation with people.
Good. And what about that classic car place up in Venice, in South Venice? You ever see the one over there as you're going towards Jacaranda on the right hand side on Tamiami? It's like they got like some of them are kit cars and some of them are not kit cars. They're like real.
Classic.
Yeah, ideal classic cars.
Is it Ideal Classic Cars? When you walk in, it's like a beautiful showroom.
Yes.
You got like the
Yeah.
Batmobile
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah, it's a consignment shop.
It is a consignment shop.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. But not all of them are real cars. Some of them are kit cars, correct?
Some are some are kid from movies and things of that nature. But I would say 90% or not more, 95% are actual restored cars that are on consignment there that are.
I was amazed. I always used to go in there with my daughter just to go look at it's a beautiful place. I just like the inside of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, well, I'm glad you came on the show today. We had a great time.
Thank you for having us.
I really enjoyed our conversation because you have a great story. You're doing your thing. You're moving on. You're not going to stop until you decide you have to stop. And but for the most part, you started a business late in life, and that's an amazing thing to do. And you could have been retired already if you wanted to, but you decided let's do it again. Because you can't stop greatness, you know what I mean? Just keep on doing it. Let's just do it again,
That's it. Yeah, for sure.
Well,
Thank you so much.
We really had a great time talking to you. I really appreciate you for doing the show. You're always invited on. Again, before we close out here, let's give everybody the places where they can find you, where they can see you, and when they can contact you.
Okay, so we're at 735 Commerce Drive, Unit 8, right off in Venice, right off of Jacaranda by the Amazon Distribution Center in that industrial park. We have a Facebook page, we have an Instagram page, we have a website you can get onto, Babes Body and Paint. And yeah, just
Come out and see us.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna be out in Venice soon, so I'm definitely gonna come out and see you.
yeah,
And-
All right.
I'm
Good
gonna
to see
send some. I'm gonna send some coffee out to you guys.
you. Yeah,
So
that'd be good. Yeah.
and I miss you, and I miss seeing your faces every day. But this was fun, and thank you for doing the show, guys. I appreciate it.
thank
I
you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
Invite Mike.
All right. Have a
Thank
good one.
you.
Enjoy.
We love you. We
Love
miss
you too. Thank
Okay.
you.